Welcome to Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've been doing this race since 2015 when it was just a sprint at Pope Army Airfield, and I've seen it grow into the full Ultrafecta weekend it is now at McCormick Farms in Spring Lake. It's also on the National Series South schedule this year, so if you're chasing points, that's another reason to make the trip. I'll be out there racing and I'll have a full review up after the weekend. But for now, let's walk through what you should be able to expect. So the venue is McCormick Farms in Spring Lake, about 20 minutes outside of Fayetteville, with Fort Bragg just up the road. Distinctly Fayetteville is back again as the title sponsor, which is great to see. It's always a good sign when the local Chamber of Commerce gets behind a race like this. If you've been out here before, it's going to feel very familiar. Parking is the big field right next to the course. Festival area is in the same spot, and it's pretty easy to navigate once you're there. The course map is out, so let's run through it quickly. You've got 4 distances: the Sprint, the Super, the Beast, and the Ultra. They all start and finish in the same spot. One thing that jumps out immediately from the elevation profile is just how flat this thing is. All 4 distances have basically no significant gain. The course heads north into some wooded sections, then comes back through the open fields near the finish line. Worth noting before your race, especially on the longer distances, are the water and pack refill stations that are marked on the course. Understand where they are so you can handle your hydration throughout the race. Looking at the map, the Sprint and the Super share the same inner loop, which is faster and more open. Lots of wide open farm field sections where you can really open up your stride. The Beast and the Ultra push out into a larger western loop with much more wooded terrain, where things get a little bit more technical. Roots, sandy soil, the kind of stuff that starts working your calves once you're deep into the race. As usual, the Ultra is 2 laps of the Beast Loop, plus an extra 4 miles. So 50 kilometers in total with 30 plus obstacles per lap. I've done this Ultra 3 times out here, and honestly, it's one of the more approachable ones on the circuit. The flat profile really helps. That said, there's one thing I always want to flag for people considering it. The heat and the humidity can be a real factor in May. Those open field sections have no shade at all, and when it's warm and humid, running across open ground for miles at a time is a much different experience than when you were training in March. Just something to be aware of. I want to spend a few minutes on this because it generally matters. The rain is unpredictable. I've had thunderstorms roll through the end of my Ultra out here, and the heat and humidity in early May is also very reliable. All of these things may show up in some form, so hydration is something you really want to think about ahead of time, not just on race morning. I'd start hydrating Wednesday, honestly. You've seen the map and you know where the water and refill stations are on the course. So if you're doing the Beast and the Ultra, keep an eye on them, fill up your pack, and make sure you're taking electrolytes, not just water. And regardless of the forecast, tossing a light rain jacket into your bag is not a bad idea. Wear it to the start, stash it in your camelback, and you have it. And you may need it at some point. Logistics have always been smooth here. Parking is in a big field right next to the course. Just figure out a way to remember where you parked in the sea of cars so that you can get to it post-race. Some people put an air tag on their car. Some people pin it in Google Maps. But whatever the reason, you want to have a system in place so in the end, when you're covered in mud and your brain is fried, you can find your car. Last year, Spartan let Trifecta racers pick up their sprint bibs inside the festival area, which was a great improvement. Hopefully that's back this year. Lines at registration can get long, but if you're there about an hour and a half before your heat starts, you'll be fine. It'll give you some time to eat and settle in. Hotels in this area don't sell out, but your first choice might, so it's worth booking sooner than later. Starting this year, Spartan has classified the obstacles, so I can't tell you exactly what's out there, but based on last year, Spartan made good use of the whole venue. But the placement in the final couple of miles was very demanding. It was somewhat backloaded. A long barbed wire crawl in deep trenches, a dunk wall not far from the finish line, heading into the last obstacle series, including rope climb. Sandbag and bucket carries were longer on this course, which makes sense because it was so flat you didn't have a lot of elevation to work with. I'll have a full breakdown once I do my final review, but it looks like it'll probably be pretty much standard this year. The festival area is in the same spot. If Island Noodles is back this year, which I really hope they are, they're absolutely the move after you finish. Hot soba noodles served fresh and hot, and the line is always long for a reason. They travel to other Southeast races too, so if you've never tried them, Fayetteville might be your introduction. A few things just to close out and some key takeaways. Book your hotel room sooner than you think you need to. Your first choice might fill up. Start hydrating Wednesday. Seriously. Use sunscreen on Saturday and Sunday. The open fields have zero cover. Consider packing a rain jacket in your kit. And if you've been on the fence about trying your first ultra, this is genuinely a good one to start with. The flat layout makes it manageable. Same goes for the Trifecta weekend. It's a well-run event, a lot of good energy, and I've been coming back since 2015 for a reason. I'll be out there on both days. We'll have a final review up by Wednesday the following week, and I hope to see you out there. Have a great race.